Good afternoon and welcome to the DIY Juice Cleanse webinar and guide. My name is Deborah C. Smith and I'm a holistic and nutrition coach with a practice of 16 years. And I'm also the owner of Green Pirate Juice, which started out as a food truck on the streets of New York City and Brooklyn and serving juices and smoothies and other vegan plant-based dishes, and then graduated to become a citywide catering company working for film and television and large companies. And then we opened a bunch of pop-up locations around the city as well. And currently, post-pandemic, I work as an online coach. I coach courses and I help my clients to get crystal clear about everyday basic habits that we can form that have a major, big impact on our overall health and wellness. I help my clients to focus on nutrition, how to cook and eat healthy plant-based meals, and really focus on their goals and incorporate health habits that will get them to their goals. So I'll talk a little bit more at the end of the webinar about ways that I can support you. But for now, this webinar is about doing a juice cleanse. This is really a chance for me to share some knowledge with you if you're curious about cleansing, the practice of cleansing, what it looks like, why to do it, a little bit of clarification around some of the different terms that are floating out there in the industry, and my recommendations for best practices, how to do it safely, and then the answers to frequently asked questions. And at the end, if you have questions, you can email me or just direct message me, and I will try to do my very best to get back to you right away with your specific answers. So, as I mentioned, I have a long practice as a health coach, but also as a juice bar owner. So that's a unique combination because I have both the mindset and coaching aspect of health and wellness, where I'm thinking about what are the core reasons that people take actions in our lives? What are the core reasons that we reach for the foods that we reach for? What motivates us? And how can I, as a coach, help you to align what motivates you with your goal? But I also have the get your hands in the clay and make food, the recipes, the kitchen skills, the long time practice of saving time and money to make all of these things practical and actually doable. So that combined skill set puts me in a unique position to help guide people in the cleanse process. And throughout my time owning a juice bar, every spring I hosted a large group cleanse. And what that used to look like was I would make the juices for you and kind of sell the cleanse package, right? You would buy a 3 or a 5 day cleanse, and that would include all your juices and your protein shakes, your menu, the schedule. And in addition, I would host a kickoff party and coach people through the process. So we'd have a lot of community and a lot of support. This year looks a little bit different. The juice bar is not currently open. I'm not currently able to make you those juices, but what I can do is help you prepare for your spring cleaning and offer some support around how to do it safely. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to touch upon is why we should cleanse. So I want you to imagine, I've got my sticky note here. Don't drop. The first thing I want you to do is imagine that you have purchased your dream sports car. It's the most money you've ever spent on anything in your life. It's a convertible Porsche or a cherry red Cadillac, or just the most beautiful, highest quality, most gorgeous vehicle. And from, headlight to tail light, everything in between, every little flourish on this car, the seating, the seat belts, the dashboard, it's perfect. It's beautiful. You love this. You've spent so much time saving for it and you're ready to just get in and drive that car. And it's so valuable to you that you are going to learn from the person who sold it to you and the mechanic who's going to be taking care of it, exactly what you need to do to maintain the engine on this vehicle. You're going to put the highest quality fuel into the tank, and you're going to use the highest optimum oil to make sure that the engine and all the chassis and all the different bells and whistles of the internal organism and the internal operation of that car are always running smoothly. And then every once in a while, every 3,000 miles, every quarter, at least twice a year, you're going to take that car in for a full-on inspection, and you're going to get the oil changed. You're going to clean out the pipes. You're going to have the mechanic check for any rust that might be building up. You're really going to make sure that the internal operation of this vehicle, this prized special, highly valuable sports car that you've purchased is running smoothly and is clean. You want a clean engine. You want clean fuel. You wouldn't put shitty low grade fuel into this car. You're always going to treat it like that you want it running smoothly for the rest of time, forever. So now imagine your body is that sports car. You have this absolutely beautiful body that you're living in, this highly valuable, one of a kind, completely unique series of complex organisms and operations that are keeping you going and supporting your life to go out into the world and have experiences and experience joy and have relationships and go to work and raise your children and do all the things that you love. Your body is like that expensive sports car. You want to be putting in the highest octane fuel. You want to be making sure that you're giving it an oil change, that you're keeping the rust out of the pipes, that you're really maintaining optimal operations going in your body, because that's going to allow you to have the endurance, the energy, and the literal fuel that you need to go out into the world and take action towards your dreams, and even just to show up in everyday life doing the things that you love without becoming exhausted, without experiencing fatigue, without the wear and tear and the headaches of daily life. So I want you to think about a juice cleanse like an oil change. You're just going in and you're saying, you know what? I've been pumping gas into this thing. I'm constantly, dumping things down my gullet to keep my engine running. But right now I'm going to take a break. I'm going to insert a pause, and I'm going to just clean out what was in there, clear away any other rust or excess debris, make sure that the internal engine where everything is combusting is clean. And then I'm going to fill it back up with just absolutely fresh, clean, optimal fuel that's going to keep me running clean. That's going to allow me to have that endurance, that energy, and that's going to be maintenance so that the wear and tear of everyday life, everyday digestion doesn't run me down. Now, that's the simplest way to think about what a juice cleanse is. We'll talk later a little bit more in the FAQ section about what it's not, because that comes up a lot in this talk. So the next thing I want to check in with you about is the basic terminology around cleansing. There's sort of a lot of keywords and buzzwords in the industry that people use, and they have different definitions, and it's kind of important to understand that. So when you're thinking about a cleanse or a detox, or differently, a juice cleanse is there's different types of ways to cleanse, and there's different levels kind of doing this. So I just want to clarify some of that for you. So, and this can just help to inform you so that you can make a decision about what you actually need right now. So by the end of this talk, I want you to feel like you actually have an idea of what might be good for you. If you're curious, this should help clarify for you. So first and foremost, the detoxification process. So this is literally the physiological or medicinal removal of toxins from a substance or a living organism. So this includes the human body, of course, and a lot of that happens in our body through our liver. So we have, a complex series of body parts and organisms that play a role in our digestion. From the moment that we put food into our mouths and start chewing it, and our jaw literally, the movement of the mandible moving up and down sends a message to the brain, hey, release digestive enzymes. Saliva begins to, your mouth begins to water. That's breaking down your food. That's the first step of your digestive process. And then your food travels down to your stomach, whereby it enters into this combustion chamber, and, stomach acids, gallbladder, all these things start to go to work and break down the food particles into various categories. Let's just call them, for the sake of this talk, useful and not useful, right? So the useful stuff is your macronutrients, your micronutrients, your carbohydrates, your energy, your lipids, your healthy fats, your protein, the thing that literally synthesizes and builds your healthy tissues. Your micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, water, the things that our body requires in order to function properly. Let's just pretend that everything's going great with your fuel. You've got super clean, awesome, high-grade, plant-based fuel going in. So you've got all these macro and micronutrients being separated out in the stomach, going to the various parts of the body, building your organ tissues, replenishing, refueling. And then you've got this other set of what's left over, which often includes a lot of toxins. And the liver begins to process and break these things down and separate them out, moving them through the second half of the digestive system, which is going to be our small intestine, large intestine, and then colon elimination. Now, that is largely the part of the body that we're focused on when we're thinking about detoxification and cleansing. You're going to feel it all over your body. You're going to feel it in all of the cells of your body. But when we're cleansing out our digestive system, we're cleansing out that small intestine, large intestine, and colon, where food tends to get stuck. Toxins tend to get, can be buried in the soft tissue or of those organisms, of those body parts. And that's where things can tend to build up. That's where silent inflammation can begin agitating us. That's where, a lot of chronic illness begins to fester, is in that digestive tract. So it's very healthy to digest, to clean the digestive system on a regular basis, to kind of remove any buildup of excess toxins in that part of the body. So detoxification is just the elimination of toxins from the body. Now, we hear about this a lot in relationship to things like alcohol and drugs. That's also detoxing, from alcohol is a common thing that people hear about. That is a version of detoxification. And you can also just be detoxing from everyday substances that you consume. Sugar, excess salt, excess fatty oils, and things like this. And then just even, I want you to think about your everyday over-the-counter food products, spaghetti sauces, cereals, anything that has additives in it to preserve it and keep it on the shelf longer, likely has non-food elements added to it that are hard for us to digest and become hard for us to move through the system. So, if you read the label on a package, a lot of times you'll see, yellow dye number 12, or some long word that you can't even pronounce that is some type of a preservative. These can be very toxic for our system, and over time they build up. So the cleanse process helps to eliminate and remove some of these things that build up in the system. So that's detoxification. There's fasting, which is really just abstinence, completely abstinence from food or drink, or for both health reasons, for ritualistic purposes, religious purposes, and even ethical reasons, right? People protest by fasting a food. A hunger strike is a fast. But also every single night when we go to bed and we stop eating food and consuming nutrition, we're fasting technically until we wake up in the morning and we break the fast. So if you've heard of intermittent fasting as a healthy way to reset your blood sugar levels, and it's very popular these days with like the keto diet and different types of diets, intermittent fasting is a tool that's been used for thousands and thousands of millennia by physicians and by lots of people to just impact the body in a very specific way to kind of reset. So there's so many health benefits to intermittent fasting. This talk is not going to be about that, but I do want to say that it's different, very different than cleansing, because fasting is really the process of removing all substances, all nourishment coming in for a specific period of time in order to reset the body. And over time, it has certain health benefits. I would recommend doing it with a coach or getting really clear about what you're doing with your bodily systems before just launching into a fast. But it's different than cleansing. Cleansing, also done for a specific amount of time. This is the period of time during which you're attempting to rid the body of excess, unwanted, unhealthy substances. Typically, this is done by consuming only liquids, either water, or in our case, we're going to talk about juices. But so cleansing is very typically done with liquid only. Cleansing is very specifically done to remove excess buildup toxin in the body. And it's not an ongoing, cleansing is not an ongoing lifestyle choice. If you are someone who's thinking about cleansing around the topic of weight loss, I will answer this. I will get into this a little bit deeper in the FAQ, but I want to just say it is a great way to jumpstart the weight loss process, because you will have a quick result of the loss of weight, but a lot of it is going to be specifically because you're not consuming solid foods for a short amount of time. The second that you go back to eating your normal diet or some variation of a diet that has solid food, you'll see that weight gain back. So we'll talk more about that later, but just to put that out there, a cleanse is not a diet. A cleanse is not a weight loss gimmick. It is meant to clean out your digestive system for health purposes of getting that quarterly oil change that your body desperately needs. So, and then just final definition, juice cleansing is the cleanse process when done by consuming fresh, living enzyme, plant-based vegetable and fruit juices so that you're intaking a tremendous amount of healthy, vibrant nutrition while eliminating solid food, moving a lot of liquid through the digestive system in order to flush out the system, but you're not eliminating nutrition. You're getting it through juices and smoothies throughout the entire process. So you're trying to maintain a caloric intake so you have the energy to go live your life. You are maintaining a high level of macro and micronutrients that your body depends on for functions, but you're eliminating solid food, you're eliminating toxins, you're eliminating alcohol, sugar, and fiber, which is a big thing. We do need lots of fiber in our lives. During the cleanse period, you won't be getting a lot of fiber unless you consume it in a powdered form in one of your juices. So it's just the idea that your body can maintain the basic fuel that it needs to have to go live your life while actively cleansing out some of those toxic things that do not serve us. So let's move into some of the benefits. When the digestive system is rid of dangerous acidity that comes with a lot of these toxins, the body's free to thrive, right? So we talk a lot in holistic nutrition and functional medicine, looks a lot at the acidity level in the blood and also in the digestive system, the pH balance. So you'll hear a lot about alkalinity and acidity. And the general rule of thumb is that we want our bodies thrive with an alkaline environment, right? Dangerous cancers and other inflammatory illnesses can't really thrive or spread or grow in alkaline environment. High alkalinity is very positive for keeping our digestive tract in balance. And so we want to eat foods and consume foods that leave an alkaline residue in our digestive system as often as possible. And we want to steer clear of too many acid-forming foods in general. And part of a cleanse is to acknowledge that we're consuming a lot of acid-forming foods on a regular basis, and this is going to be an alkaline flush. So when we eat pure fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, and other plant-based nutrition, typically that results in the following health benefits. We get just a vibrant energy, right? We just the release of those toxins will result in a burst of energy. We'll have brighter vision, clear skin, a physical glow about you. You'll feel more grounded. You may feel a heightened sense of consciousness. This is normal. Your weight may begin to balance out. So if you've been feeling an imbalance of weight, the cleanse process often starts to help you feel like you're coming into balance. Decreased anxiety, improved sleep, and overall improved physical, emotional, and spiritual health is a benefit of cleansing. It just starts to bring you in congruence with nature and with, a balanced flow of energy. However, all of these great benefits that happen when we do a cleanse and when we're cleansing toxins out of our system, they're sort of the eventual great benefit and result that we receive. We also do sometimes experience side effects. So cleansing is not without its challenges. It's not always easy. And some of the side effects that people experience include immediately, typically within the first 24 to 48 hours, can include headaches, nausea sometimes, because you're just shifting the way that your digestive flora and fauna are being fed, literally. Sweating is very common, sweating out the toxins, which is a good thing ultimately, but it feels very uncomfortable. Sometimes for women, PMS-like cramps can be something, like a bloating is sometimes part of the cleanse process within the first couple of days. Definitely you're going to have an increased use of the bathroom, which can be very uncomfortable if you're, if you have a peer or community workspace and you have to use the bathroom every 20 minutes, that can be uncomfortable. And then feeling tired sometimes, like really just tired, like your body is doing all of this detoxification and you just need to sleep it off. So many times when I've coached cleanse participants, they've told me, I slept for 12 hours last night. I just got in my bed and needed to just lie down, and I slept and I just was out like a light and slept all night long, which guess what is so good for replenishing, your system. So your body is getting this break, this detox, this rest. It's very good for us, but it can feel uncomfortable. It's different than our normal, right? We're used to going all the time and just eating and digesting and eating. We eat on the run. We digest on the run. We're not slowing down to insert the pause and give our body and our digestive system a break. The reason why it's so important, one of the reasons why it's so important to give our digestive system this break is because our immunity, our strength against illnesses, our strength against virus, and just our ability to keep our energy level up and move through our day. It's 85% of our immune system, the cells that build our immune defenses, live in our gut. So gut health, gut stability, and cleansing are so critical for our overall wellness, our overall ability to fight off and ward off chronic illness, chronic disease, even just temporary daily symptoms like fatigue and feeling exhausted towards the, 3/4 of the way through your day. That should not be our normal. The aging process, wrinkled skin, dehydrated skin, these are things that happen naturally as we age, but we can help support our healthy, largest living organism, our skin, by detoxifying our digestive system. So, the side effects that we experience of cleansing are really small in comparison to the long-term benefits. I personally have done lots and lots of cleanses. I've been at it but the first time I did a cleanse was, I want to say 2006. So 16 years ago. And it was hard at first because it was totally abnormal from my typical way of eating. And I remember being scared that I wouldn't be able to make it through it. And yeah, I feel like the first couple of days I was really toxing out, right? Getting rid of so many toxins. I felt uncomfortable at first. However, the health benefits that I discovered shortly after that, 2 to 3 days into it, you start to feel right away some of these benefits, the increased energy, the heightened consciousness, the feeling like, whoa, I have all this energy that I've been, misaligned, and just feeling grounded and just, jumping out of bed, feeling like I have this huge burst of energy. I really felt it. And I was hooked, and I've done it, 2 or 3 times a year ever since. So I have a lot of experience myself with what it feels like to move through a cleanse. And honestly, if I were in a period of life where I was just under a lot of stress or, on the go all the time or traveling a lot and my diet and nutrition was out of balance, let's say I was consuming a lot of food from restaurants because I'm traveling. No matter what, if I'm not cooking my own food and I'm really eating on the go, I am going to wind up consuming things that maybe I wouldn't put into my own home-cooked plant-based meals. And over time, it builds up. I would probably notice slight weight gain. I would probably feel tired. Were I to do a cleanse on the tail end of something like, a long period of travel and eating out, I'd probably go through those same symptoms, headachy at first, feeling a little bit out of balance, exhausted, needing to sleep, sweating, all that stuff. But I know, because I've done it a lot, that on the other end of that is this bright clarity that I'm seeking. And so I would just push through that. I would give it this too shall pass attitude, and I would move through it. And that's what I coach my clients to do, is to try it, is to experience what it feels like. I mean, when you're detoxing, you will feel it. And you'll probably think, God, thank God I'm getting this out of my system. And then shortly thereafter, you'll feel the benefits and you will know that you made the right decision. So let's pretend you want to do this and you want to get prepared. So I'm going to be giving you this guidebook. It covers a lot of what I'm talking about today, and it also has a prep checklist. I'm going to go over the checklist with you really quickly right now so that you have an idea of what you can be doing to best prepare yourself for any period of detoxification or doing a juice cleanse. So, first of all, you want to start by just deciding what kind of a cleanse is good for you. Are you going to do liquid only, or would you like some raw food in there, like a fresh salad? Or are you just going to focus on eliminating sugar? So, you're eating solid food, but you're not going to have any processed sugar. What is your cleanse level? So, some people eat horribly toxic food and diets and drink alcohol all day long and really just need a clean week. Right? You might just need a week where you're eating plant-based and you're not consuming alcohol, you're not consuming excess sugar. You just need a break from that level of putting in toxins. 100% valid. That's a cleanse. You're cleansing away processed sugars. You're cleansing away known toxins. That's really good. That's really healthy. That's a good starting point. Other people, eat fairly healthy all the time, but like I was saying, maybe you eat on the run and you're consuming some excess toxins, or maybe you are a person who is very ready for a period of lifestyle change, such as beginning a weightlifting program or beginning a health regimen that's new to you, and you want to start with a cleanse. So you're ready to do a little bit more of an in-depth true gut cleanse, and you want to do something like a 3 to 5 day juice cleanse, where you're just not eating any solid foods at all. You're not consuming sugars, you're not consuming alcohols, you're also not eating solid food. That would be sort of the other extreme end of cleansing. And there's all levels in between. Maybe you're doing juice half the day and then a big fresh green salad. This is also very cleansing. You do not have to go cold turkey with this process. And you do not have to feel peer pressured by, these gorgeously packaged industry juice cleanses. So many times people try to do a juice only cleanse, a liquid only cleanse, and they just feel overwhelmed and honestly scared to do it. And it's not a positive experience as a result. So don't do that. Do the thing that feels right for you. Try adding in cleansing juices and see how that feels. And then slowly baby step your way to a full, liquid only 3 day period. I mean, it takes practice. It's very good for you to just pick something and say, I'm going to cleanse out this for 3 or 4 days, for a week. So I am coaching a clean eating week at the end of April. If you decide that you want to try that, join me. It's totally free. Talk more about that at the end. So you've decided what type of cleanse is good for you. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to choose your start date. I cannot stress this enough. You must pick a start date and you must prepare for it. Don't just decide when you wake up tomorrow morning you're doing a cleanse. You won't stick to it. You need a plan. You need to get prepared for that plan. So I want you to choose a start date and a duration of time. So start simple, like I just said. You can start a week from now and do 1 day. And the whole time next week, you're leading up to that 1 day, you're just getting yourself ready for it with the following elements on the checklist. You might decide, I want to do a 5-day cleanse. Pick a start date, get it on your calendar, and prepare yourself for that moment, because you don't want to wind up going into such a significant shift in your dietary norms without some preparation and some support. Which brings me to my next checklist point: find accountability. Don't do this on your own if it's scary to you. Find a partner who's like, I'll do it with you. I'll buy that, fancy juice cleanse package and try this. Join a cleanse group like the many that I coach and have supported in the past. There's lots of ways to do this. Like I said, I have a free clean eating week coming up. You can join that group and do your juice cleanse that week. But get some support around your process. If you're someone who is like, I know I need this, I am not well, I want to do this right, I want to do this with a coach, hire a coach. Don't do it alone. Get the accountability and the support that you need, and it'll make it more fun. So find accountability. And then planning your menu. You need a plan. What are you going to be eating or drinking and when? This is the place where everyone messes up, myself included. If you go into a cleanse week and you don't know exactly when you're getting your meals or your nutrition in, you're failing. You're failing to prepare is preparing to fail. You want to have your menu completely written out for the entire week. Figure out what you're going to be consuming, put it on your calendar. Don't ever wonder when your next meal is coming. Never, ever, ever. Okay, that's very important. Have a meal plan or a juice schedule, your recipes. You want to have your shopping list, know when you're getting all that food shopped for. Schedule yourself out. Use a meal planner. Get prepared for what you're going to be drinking or eating. You never want to ever reach a hungry moment during your cleanse where you don't know what to reach for, because you'll crash and you'll reach for the thing that you're craving during that cleanse, and then you'll feel kind of like you failed. So you don't want to fail. I won't let you fail. Order your juices. If you're using a delivery service, so I used to sell juice cleanses, I would suggest to my cleanse clients that they would really they would get a week or two out in front of this. So figure out where you're going to, if you're not making the juice yourself, which you totally can, and I will provide you with support around that. It's really easy to just do it yourself, and it will probably save you some money, and you'll feel very empowered because you'll have a lot of control. But if you decide, I just want to order it from someone and have it delivered, order those juices in advance, schedule it out, get it on your schedule, or know when you're going to be making your own. Okay. Keeping a food journal is next. Record your starting point, like everything about how you look and feel at that moment. Write down the symptoms that are causing you to want to do the cleanse. Are you exhausted? Are you overweight? Weigh yourself, measure yourself. Ask yourself the hard questions of why you're getting to this point. What brought you here? What made you think you need this? Again, if you do this with a coach, they should provide you with a lot of these support tools. I offer this support. So if you're interested, reach out to me. And just note things like your weight, your energy level, your symptoms that you're going in with. I want you to have a baseline so that you know where you started from, so that at the end, you know where how you're feeling. You can compare the beginning to the after effect. And then my last tip for preparing yourself for a juice cleanse is to ease into it, right? So part of preparation is not going cold turkey. Plan to start adding in more water, more fresh fruits and vegetables, plant-based meals before your cleanse starts. So the week leading up, or even the week or two leading up to your cleanse week, begin to pepper in these habits. Begin to add additional glasses of water to your day. Make sure you try a couple of juices that might be on your menu for the week of. Get some training wheels on the bike before you just go into it. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You want to do this right. You want to feel awesome the whole time. It's possible to feel amazing throughout your entire cleanse week or your cleanse period if you prepare properly. So if you ease your way into it and you're adding in more liquid and you're adding in more healthy, fresh, living enzyme foods, when you get to that day where you're liquid only for 2, 3, 5, 7 days, this is not going to be a shock to your system. You're going to have been feeling some of these, you're building up already to that point. And hopefully by the period of liquid only, you're like, I can't wait. This is going to feel so good to just take a break. And you're mentally prepared and you're super, ready for it. And you've got your accountability and you've got your juices ready and you've got your recipes and your menu and you're like, let's do this. So that's what I try to get my clients into the mindset of, is like, this is great for us. This is going to feel amazing while I'm doing it because I'm ready, because I'm prepared. I know what to expect. When it happens that you have those sweaty moments or those headachy moments, you're ready for that. And you say, this too shall pass. I'm looking for that golden ticket on the other side of this where I feel lighter, energetic, like I took a break that my body desperately needed. I got my pipes cleaned on my fancy sports car, right? So in a nutshell, if you are prepared for a cleanse, it's going to feel great. You will benefit tremendously from the results of this cleanse. Your body will thank you. Your gut health will thank you. And very likely it'll land you in a place where you're fine-tuning in to, so what should I be eating going forward? I just did this great work. So now what can I be eating and doing that will keep this momentum up and it'll set you up for making better food choices on a daily basis, getting those, other health habits tuned in and dialed in. And ultimately it does set you up for healthy nutrition going forward and that, the high pro glow that you're looking for. Long term, if you continue along this path, yeah, you are preventing chronic illness in your body. You are eliminating toxins in a bigger way. You are having the more energy ongoing. Then you've got more time in your life to do the exercise that's going to get your muscles strong. Like there's an upward momentum for this process that can happen if you stick with it. So, but if it's your first time, go easy, have accountability, get prepared, hire a coach, know what you're going to be eating. Do not just dive into the cleanse. So that's my prep checklist for you. Download the PDF and use this. It's going to help you get the most out of it. Okay, so let's do quick FAQ. I'm looking at about 40 minutes in here, so I'm going to do a very quick FAQ, and you can email me for further specific questions that you might have. So how long should you cleanse? This is personal. It depends on your health and your goals and your availability for the process. It does take time to prep. It does take time to, show up for. I recommend a minimum of 3 days so you can achieve some of the health benefits, but typically people go longer. It's typically 5 days, sometimes 7, very infrequently, but sometimes people who are dealing with health issues, who have a reason, will go longer to really detox out things that have built up in their system. I absolutely recommend, if you're going to do a long detoxification cleanse, that you have a coach so you don't do it on your own, and someone who can speak with your doctor and make sure that you're, well organized. But 3, 5, or 7 days is what I've seen people benefit from. Anything less than 3 days is going to be absolutely fine-tuned with a day-long cleanse or a couple days of taking a break. It will help you feel better. But usually it's about day 2.5 or day 3 when people start to break through some of those symptoms of, side effects and begin to feel the benefits. So I like to coach people to try to get through at least 3 days. Foods to include. If you're doing liquid only, we're looking at water, veggie broth, veggie juices, fruit juices. Protein shakes or smoothies are good too. If they're made with, nut milks. Green tea gets a thumbs up. Herbal teas, 100%. If you're doing both raw foods and juice, then all of the above, plus, concluding a daily raw, fresh, big giant salad, anything goes, put all the veggies and all the greens in. I would steer clear of any cooked food altogether. So, you don't want to be consuming any alcohol. We'll get into not to include. But if you're doing a sugar detox only, if that's kind of where you're at, then I would stick to plant-based whole food meals, but with no added processed sugars whatsoever. So you're going to, you can also include all the above, the water, the juices, the smoothies, and the raw salads and things, but you're going to stay away from highly sugary things. So that might be steering clear of just fruit juice only and anything that has like a high level of fructose in it, because you're doing a sugar cleanse. So foods not to include on a cleanse, no matter what version of your cleanse you're doing, you're going to stay away from meat. You're going to stay away from cooked food altogether. Any processed foods, like any highly packaged or processed foods, are out. Anything with processed sugar in it. I would asterisk this, but I would recommend switching over to green tea from a coffee. I'll come back to that. Black tea is out. Really, seltzer water, sparkling water, they all are acid-forming beverages. Of course, no alcohol or beer or wine. It's acid-forming. We're looking for an alkaline flush, so we want to stay away from acid-forming foods. And just to go back to the asterisks on coffee, this is a tough one because if you're a caffeine, a coffee drinker and you have like a really solid morning practice of drinking a ton of coffee, it will really throw you off to just cut it out for 1 or 2 days. And the headache you might get from that, like nail gun to the head type headaches from caffeine withdrawal, will really overshadow the benefits of the cleanse itself. So I've seen this happen time and again where people cut caffeine out during a cleanse, and it makes them feel sick. So we should talk about that before you do the cleanse. If you're thinking you want to do a cleanse, I would fine tune how you want to look at how much caffeine you're bringing in during the day. And if it's so much that it would cause you that level of a headache, you might want to look at the amount you're drinking anyways. But You don't have to cut it out completely, but I would have recommendations for you about how to either choose different beverages or how to fine tune your coffee practice. Okay, moving on. FAQs. Will I feel hungry on a juice cleanse? Probably not. Most people report not feeling very fulfilled and feeling almost many times people say, I'm never hungry. I feel amazing. But if you do feel hungry, it's okay to include additional juices, or if you really feel like I can't go through the day without solid food, go for that big, raw, healthy, fresh, plant-based salad. Will I be lightheaded if I'm not eating solid food? Not necessarily, but this depends a lot on your personal blood sugar level, your build, your constitution, and your metabolism. If you're worried about that, check in with a coach, check in with me, and we'll talk about it. Can I exercise during a cleanse? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I highly recommend gentle movement every single day. This will help to move your blood, your lymphatic circulation. It helps to do walking, yoga, anything that brings a low level of sweat will help to move those toxins out of your system. I would steer clear of heavy duty exercise like cardio workouts or weightlifting or anything that's a long endurance thing like a major hike or a marathon. So definitely exercise, but bring it down to a low level, low impact movement. Will I lose weight? I touched on this earlier. Yes, you will. However, a cleanse is not a diet and it's not a weight loss plan. So the weight you lose is going to be a lot of, you're eliminating a lot of solids. So you're going to drop, your BMI will drop for sure. Even at the end of 3 days, people sometimes report, I lost 5 pounds in 3 days. You will gain that back as soon as you start eating solid food again. It happens every time. So do not think of a cleanse as a diet or a weight loss plan. However, you can position a cleanse as the kickoff to a change in your lifestyle or dieting habits. For example, if you're someone who knows, like, I need to lose weight to be healthy. I'm overweight for my height. I'm tired of feeling tired all the time. I want to change the way I eat. I'm going to go plant-based, or I am, going to work with a coach to get to a healthy body weight. Thumbs up if you're doing it in a very healthy way. The cleanse would be an amazing way to start that process. So you're like, for 3 days, I'm doing a full cleanse. I'm going to clean out my digestive tract, clean out my small intestine, my large intestine, clean out my colon, give my body this just burst of fresh energy. And then I'm going to work with my coach. I've got a plan. I've got a meal plan. I'm structured, and I have support so that I'm healthy about my weight loss plan. I'm not going to starve myself or anything like that, because that's just dieting doesn't work. Newsflash to everyone out there watching this. It doesn't work. What works is I love my body, and therefore I'm going to pay attention to what my body needs, and I'm going to choose foods and movements and people and all the things that are going to bring me into balance. So the cleanse is a great short-lived moment in time that gets you into that. It's like a kickoff party for your lifestyle change. Think of it that way. So remember that your cleanse period is like having an oil change, and it's good for us in so many different ways. And if you're wondering at the end of this, what's my next step? As I've mentioned, I highly recommend having accountability. There are 3 ways in which I can personally support you in the process of getting clean in your food choices. One of them is coming down the pipeline very quick. On April 25th, I am coaching a totally free, private group clean eating week. The reason I call it the clean eating week and not like a spring cleanse is because I'm not going to be specifically coaching a juice cleanse. I want to leave it open enough that everyone can choose what they're doing. And I know that it looks different for everyone, so that I can invite a larger group of people in if I say, you pick your path. But I will be doing a daily coaching on these 5 things: eating plant-based meals, including a lot more hydration into your daily life, daily exercise, getting a good night's sleep, and eliminating excess sugars. So it is type of cleanse. However, if you felt like you wanted to try juices only during that time and you want to be a part of that group, reach out to me. I will put a link someplace associated with this video where you can sign up for that. We did it in January. It was so much fun. People had overwhelming results from taking a week to really look at their food and really like dial in their habits. And I still am getting emails from people about the benefits of that week. So clean week, clean eating week, April 25th to the 29th, end of April. Separately, if you want to do very specifically want to do a juice cleanse and you want me as a coach, what I offer to people is a support period of time for a 5-day cleanse. And you can email me and ask more about that. I do charge a fee for that, but it's very small. And you will get your menu, your plan, your recipes, exactly what you're going to be doing for those 5 days, and a daily coaching from me so that you're not alone during it. And then the bigger picture, if you're someone who thinks that you're ready for that lifestyle change where it's, including a lot more plant-based foods in your diet, you want to have healthy weight loss, or you want to have just you want to avoid chronic illness in your life, and you're looking for a nutrition plan that works, that can also save you money and save you time, I coach a course called Plant Powered Kitchen. It's a 6-week cooking course that teaches you everything you need to know about the basics of plant-based nutrition, how to incorporate lots and lots of healthy recipes into your own meal plan, how to make a meal plan that features healthy nutrition. And it's a really fun course. It's one part, self-study videos and one part live cooking classes. So that happens in May. There's a waiting list for that. So if you want to be part of that, please join the waiting list. And I'll be talking a lot more about that towards the end of April. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love this stuff. I absolutely love the cleanse process. I'm enthusiastic about it because it has changed my life, knowing that I have access to this tool of, self-care at the level that we have. I know how to do it safely, and I love sharing it with others. So remember, self-care is the new healthcare. We've got to be looking out for our own bodies. We've got one and only beautiful body on this one and only life of ours. So take care of it. And that is all for me from now. Email me your questions. I'm so grateful to have you here with me today. And I look forward to hearing from all of you out there with your questions. And I hope you have a great day.